newsworthy enough to make it onto the Big Game James show. So what's going on here? Barry Bonds has long believed owners in Major League Baseball prevented him from getting a job playing for another team after he broke the career home run record. And now it appears he's going to get that chance, the chance he's been looking for to prove it in court. Bonds is currently working on a collusion lawsuit against Major League Baseball. This according to CBSSports.com. The lawsuit, the report says, will center on the claim Bonds has made for years that teams prevented him, they blackballed him, from playing in the majors after he broke Hank Aaron's record back in 2007. The report also says Bonds could have his case heard and adjudicated sometime this year, unless he's already filed the lawsuit. Now, that much is not known if the lawsuit's actually out there yet, but we do know that that he's going to try to do it. One thing that has prevented him from pursuing such legal actions was his legal issues related to the Balco investigation, but his 2011 felony conviction for obstruction of justice related to his grand jury testimony in 2003 was reversed in April. That cleared the way for him to file the lawsuit. I'm not sure if many people out there knew that Bonds was cleared, that the ruling in his felony conviction was overturned recently. That's partially why he's back in the news again, and partially, that's basically the main reason why he's able to go ahead and file this lawsuit. Bonds hit 28 home runs for the Giants in 2007. Good numbers. That's just good for anyone, including career number 756, which is just absolutely amazing. Peds or not. That was the record breaker. Of course, it broke Hank Aaron's record. But also, he had a 480 on-base percentage and a 1.05 OPS that season. I'm not going to repeat that. Just let it sink in. Those are just insane numbers. Seriously. Despite that, no team signed him for the 2008 season, even though he said he'd play for the minimum salary if offered. Now, that sounds pretty suspicious. A guy putting up those kinds of numbers, not getting signed the next year, even though he's completely eligible. No one, the league didn't have any hearings or make any rulings that Barry Bonds just could not play. This is all behind doors stuff. This is all closed, in-camera meetings happened. Make no doubt about that, because there's no way, no other explanation as to why Barry Bonds should not have been playing in 2008, especially, the greatest hitter in the league is offering to play for nothing, for peanuts, or at least comparatively. I'd go out and play for the league minimum, but I'm also not going to hit 28 home runs. I'd be lucky to get one hit. You know what I mean? But Barry Bonds, you can bet that there was an in-camera meeting, and I believe that those are illegal anyway. You can bet that the Major League Baseball's owners, possibly the league, they had secret meetings. They had in-camera meetings, and they said, we are not signing Barry Bonds. Collectively. That's just illegal. That's just wrong. That is just stupid. So Barry Bonds is going to get his day in court, and I support that 100%. I don't believe. You just have every right to pursue that, and Barry Bonds is exercising that right. Good luck, Barry Bonds. I hope the court makes a good decision. I hope you win, because collusion is just absolutely despicable, and there's no room in the game. There's no room anywhere for that. So go get him, Barry. Show him what you're made of. Get what you deserve. Big Game James has your back. Now, on to Jorge Posada, tell-all book. I love these baseball tell-all books. They're kind of fun for a first read. They're not very educational as far as I'm concerned, but they make some pretty fun reads. I read Jose Canseco's book. What an interesting read. That's all I'll say about that. Not going to read it again. It's certainly no summer of beer and whiskey. A wonderful book by Edward Acorn, but then again, it's not a player, right? Acorn's book isn't about a specific player. It's about a year. It's about a season. It's about the season that made baseball America's pastime. But anyhow, enough of that tirade. Jorge Posada retired in 2012, But in a new tell-all book titled The Journey Home, My Life in Pinstripes, he shows he still holds resentment toward the Yankees. The former Yankee catcher played for the team his whole career from 1995 to 2011. In his book, he reveals how difficult the last year was with the team. Posada was demoted from catcher to designated hitter for his final season and says that the move, quote-unquote, hurt him. In continuing that quote, "I'll put this as plainly as I can." And this is from the book, actually. "When you take me out from behind the plate, you're taking away my heart and my passion," he writes. And this next quote was in the New York Times, or rather the New York Daily News, not the New York Times. This next quote was in the New York Daily News. "I knew that my role with the club was changing, but I don't think that anyone making those decisions knew how much the things being done hurt me," end quote. Now, as Posada's time with the team was ending, he reveals that he wasn't even allowed to catch in the bullpen. He even asked to sit in at a catcher's meeting, or rather not at a catcher's meeting, but he tried to get in all of the catcher's meetings, but he was told no. This all in the book. The veteran catcher could only hold in his emotions for so long, and he explained the moment when he refused to play in a 2011 game against the Red Sox. I mean, everyone's got to remember that. You know, he refused to play in that 2011 contest versus Boston. And what he said about that was, quote, "I felt like I wasn't being treated right, that people weren't always being as straightforward with me as I wanted them to be or treating me as I deserved to be treated, and I exploded. I just put up with enough." That's good enough for me, Jorge. I mean, I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but I've wondered before why'd you refuse to play? I mean, this seems like a completely legitimate reason. Though I think just in the name of professionalism, just doing your job, it's like, I mean, just play. Shut up and play. We used to say that in the rock and roll world all the time. Just shut up and play. If you got a problem, deal with it behind closed doors. You don't need to bring us into this. And this book kind of does that. But I mean, it's interesting. It's Jorge Posada. A lot of people have been wondering what happened to the guy since 2011. Well, here he is. He's writing a book, and he wants us to read it. Posada's final year may not have been enjoyable, but the slugger did have a great career as a whole in New York. He helped the team win 4 World Series, I'll repeat that. He helped the team win 4 World Series. He was a 5-time All-Star and a 5-time Silver Slugger Award winner. His number 20 is also being retired by the Yankees this August. Now that sounds pretty fun. This week in baseball is highlighted by Yogi Berra's 90th birthday. And now, an online petition has surfaced seeking Presidential Medal of Freedom for Yogi Berra. The petition, if you're interested, can be found at the White House's website, citing his, quote, military service and civil rights and educational activism, end quote. Now, to bring you up to date on this, the Presidential Medal of Freedom is the highest civilian honor award in the United States. It is awarded, given to someone by the president and recognizes an especially meritorious contribution to the security or national interests of the United States, world peace, cultural or other significant public or private endeavors. Some people feel that Yogi Berra fits perfectly in line with those details. So as of this show, the petition has received 6,000 signatures, roughly 6,000 signatures. It needs to receive 100,000 by June the 8th to generate a response from the White House. President Barack Obama has awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom to several athletes, including the late Ernie Banks and Stan Musial. Now, Berra, who I've been telling you this all show long, is celebrating his 90th birthday this week. He played 19 years in Major League Baseball after serving in World War II, including 18 with the Yankees. He also won 3 American League MVP awards and 10 World Series rings. 10 World Series rings! That's a lot. But is it going to be enough to get him the Presidential Medal of Freedom? Well, there's only one way to really find out, and that's to go over to the White House website. I believe it's whitehouse.org. Find the petition and sign it. There's only 6,000 signatures right now, which means we're 94,000 short. I support this. I'm going to sign it, and I highly encourage all of our listeners out there to do the same. Whitehouse.org. look up Yogi Berra, Presidential Medal of Freedom, get the petition, sign it, share it on Facebook, Twitter, all of your social networks. And yeah, let's at least entertain the notion. Let's at least get it to President Barack Obama's desk and see what he does about it. I mean, hey, why not? I mean, it's Yogi Berra. He's as American as apple pie. Baseball fans, will be right back on iHeartRadio. The Big Game James shows The Week in Baseball after this.
On the farm, we grow a food that's everything you need to eat. It's a fruit, a veg, a bread, a milk, a cheese, a bean, a meat. Hi, I'm Farmer Brown, singing about the foods you need to keep you healthy. Today, Molly's favorite milk. And the foods made from milk, like cheese. Marvelous. And ice cream, too. Magnificent. Milk and milk foods for strong teeth and bones. For variety and vitamins and fill and rooty tooth. Eat a veg, a bread, a milk, a cheese, a bean, a meat, a fruit. Eat a variety every day. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. The Big Game James Show's Power Rankings for this week. Now, we got some changes this week, and I'm going to go through this list. Some of you will agree, others will not. But I must remind you, this is an arbitrary list. I get to pick these things. And if you disagree, this is America. You can always go to Facebook and let us hear about it. Facebook.com/BGJ show. Let's hear it. So now, here's our power rankings for the week. Starting with number 1, the Cardinals. The self-proclaimed best fans in baseball become the biggest crybabies in baseball if you don't rank their team high enough. So here you go, guys. Pat yourselves on the back. St. Louis Cardinals, number 1. Number 2, KC Royals, dropping a spot from last week. Ned Yost said he wasn't going to overwork Salvador Perez this season after he far and away led everyone in innings caught last season, including the postseason. So far this year, Perez has started 25 of the Royals, 26 games behind the plate. Now that's some work, and it's deserving of the Royals' number 2 spot. Number 3, the New York Yankees. They appear to be for real, and they're playing in a mediocre division. Ugh, I hate having to say that, but that's a good combo for the Yankees. They're number 3. Number 4, Los Angeles Dodgers. From June through the end of last season, Clayton Kershaw was 18-1 with a 1.38 ERA. Bet against him improving this season at your peril. Dodgers, number 4. Number 5, Detroit Tigers. Unless you're an opposing pitcher or a fan of another AL Central team, it has to be pretty fun to have vintage Miggy Cabrera back. Number 6, the Houston Astros. They are climbing. They were last in the American League in bullpen ERA last year, and it wasn't even close. This year, they currently rank 3rd. Houston Astros, number 6. Number 7, New York Mets drop to number 7. They were bound to regress a little and have also dealt with injuries. This doesn't mean they're all of a sudden a bad team. It just means that, they're not playing like the New York Mets should. Number 7. Number 8, San Francisco Giants. The champs have won 10 of their last 13 games. They've climbed from the number 19 spot. Number 8, San Francisco Giants. Number 9, Chicago Cubs. With so many young players, huge peaks and valleys are to be expected. Knee-jerk reacting to the negative parts would be just as stupid as declaring the Epstein administration a failure in 2012. Number 10, Minnesota Twins. No, I can't see them lasting right here, but since their 1-6 start, they've only lost 2 series, and that was to the Royals and Tigers. Minnesota Twins, number 10. Number 11, the Orioles are climbing. Baltimore Orioles are climbing. They are number 11 this week. And all I got to say is Adam Jones, MVP. Number 12, Tampa Bay Rays. Bad offense, patchwork rotation, and a winning record? Yup, that sounds just about right for the Rays. Number 13, the Padres of San Diego. One of the biggest upsets of the season has been Craig Kimbrell. He looks vulnerable. I wouldn't expect that to continue, though. Number 14, Miami Marlins. D. Gordon. I love talking about D. Gordon. D. Gordon is making me look real bad. Though I love talking about him, I haven't been talking very nicely about him. I predicted, actually, that he would be quite a bust this year. But now I'm eating my words. I love you, D. Gordon. I love you, Miami Marlins. You're number 14. Good for you guys. I'm stupid. 15, Washington Nationals. Number 15, and here they come again. I never changed my prediction for a reason.